Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Rock of Cair, Bryn. We are back with another episode, and hope you guys are ready to see where this crew is going. I've already been yelled at for the name that I didn't invent. Uh, so, nor did I suggest, though I did give suggestions that maybe somebody should come up with a name. But nonetheless, here we are. So last time, the crew made their way to the major city of the west called Valegard. They were escorting the Prince of Valegard there. They were able to manage to get there relatively unscathed with a little issue with the goblins, which Pree no like goblins. I don't know why they didn't knock her down. And then they ran into a little market group. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, I heard everybody up until now. Okay, one moment. We're going to fix this because my headphones aren't working properly. Of course there has to be a problem. All right. Let's make sure that that is working because I don't see anybody talking now. There we go. Okay, can you guys say something?
Hi, John.
Hi.
Hello.
I don't know why the headphones
Maybe
just...
ban the word Dimitri.
Yeah, I was just mouthing things to him before that.
I see,
We were
okay.
trying not to talk to the chat.
I see, all right. You can always text, by the way. All right, so with that...
Not like I have to say that word, so.
Indeed. So we have reached the city. You guys were rewarded financially, and you were given access to a hotel called the Knight's Repose, which you guys are now set up in. And some of you went off to eat, some of you went off to bathe, and some of you... I am not exactly sure what else you guys all did, if you did anything else, if you even remember now, thinking back. Pree was the one who went and had the bath. That's the only one I know of. Don't know what the other two did. I can't remember. I didn't listen back enough to remember what is going on, but there we are.
I did not go to have a bath. I know that much. I think I just went to go get something to eat.
Fair enough.
I went to go shop. Well, I plan on going to go shop.
Okay. All right, so I guess the question is, are you planning on shopping today, or are you going to wait till the next morning? What do you want to do?
What time of day is it? Are the shops open?
Well, you guys arrived, if I remember correctly, somewhere in the afternoon, so probably like early to mid-afternoon.
Okay, did we have any plans for today? If not, then I probably would have just gone right now.
I mean, delivering the prince was our only plan, and he is delivered, so.
Oh, okay, then nope, I would have just gone out to... I think Did I ask someone for a shop or something? I'll ask the bartender or innkeeper where the closest weapon or blacksmith shop is.
Okay, they will point you away from this district and down to the market square area, which is to the south and east across the... So effectively, when you come into this area, there's a major roadway that goes in as you come in, and that leads to the castle, and then everything else is sort of split off from kind of east and west sides, and there is each district has its own sort of little shopping area, temple area, all sorts of fun stuff like that. So in this particular case, there is like I said, a market square kind of area, which has a bustling market. We're talking, this city is about 30,000 people, which is a very large city for this particular period of time. And because of the way housing is built at this point, people are stacked one on top of another, so it's very much cozy, because you wouldn't want to have to walk, like, say, the distance of, say, as an example for a footprint, say you lived in Los Angeles and you were trying to get from Long Beach, which I believe is in the southern part, all the way up to Bakersfield, which is out of town, I admit, but that kind of idea, you wouldn't want to do that. So this would be more about keeping everything nice and tight and densely packed, which is part of the reason why they used to burn down all the time. So with all that said and done, I'm just pulling up details on that area just to see if I do have it written down, what the name of said market would be, or what the name of said blacksmith would be, because I was actually working on some issues within the place. Okay, yeah. So there is, okay, so there's not, okay, so what I'm going to say, there isn't a major sized blacksmith area in the market town, but there is a couple of different competing blacksmiths there. So depends on what you want. One's more formulated around making implements for like weapons. Another one is more built around everyday things that you would find in a house or in the like farming and things like that.
Nope, I'm looking for a new weapon.
Okay, so you go to a blacksmith. It is called Burnaby's Blacksmith Emporium for some weird reason, but that is the name of it.
Okay, look for the blacksmith there and try to get his attention.
Okay, so you see a gentleman in the back. He is probably about 6'3", very large man, very strong looking, as you'd sort of imagine blacksmiths to be, wielding a massive hammer on an anvil, and he's bashing what looks to be a sword blade and kind of getting it ready, and kind of getting ready to the point where they can start sharpening things. And he looks up at you and says, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, I have recently upgraded professions and I'm in the market for a new weapon. I
Okay.
was thinking, well, I kind of show my pike and like something more knightly, I suppose.
You mean like a sword?
No, not a sword. Definitely no. And I'm
Like
gonna look.
like a flail? A mace? A
Uh,
spear?
well, I saw someone take a hammer to a horse once, and that looked pretty effective. But then
Uh,
again,
I
I
mean,
also I also heard stories about just people going to town with axes. So, do you have either one of those?
well, yeah, we have hammers, we have axes. If you'd like, we have what size of axe or hammer are you thinking about? You thinking about like little hand hammers that you can toss if you need to, or bash someone's head in, or a little throwing axe, or are you looking at something more weighty and meaty and bloody?
The second one, the bloody part, I suppose.
So great big one, and you see him reach over, and there's an entire row of various implements, and he pulls this axe off, and the axe is probably about, I want to say, 5 foot tall, and then the axe, like the handle, and then the head is like massive, it
Yeah.
bigger than your own head.
Yes, Bart. Exactly how meaty would you like your weapon to be?
Thank
Is
you.
Dimitri there?
I don't know if he's there. I don't believe so.
I
He
can tell you
didn't
now,
mention it.
Bart probably wouldn't get the joke. But
No, I'm not there. That was a voice from heaven.
I see.
So
That great the axe looks pretty good.
So he sets that down, and he grabs a big hammer, which looks like even heavier. The head is probably like about sledgehammer size, maybe even bigger than that. Kind of maybe is just about Like lengthwise, it's about the length of your head. It's not as wide as your head, but it's still pretty big.
Okay. I'm gonna look between the two, and I'll just take out my coin. Evens, I'll take the axe. Odds, I'll take the hammer.
Okay.
Taking the axe.
All right.
That looks good to me.
Okay. So he
How much
says,
for that?
sounds great. Well, let me have a quick look at
If you're
some
looking
of...
at the sheet, that's the 30 gold for a great axe.
Okay. So if you want to spend, he'll say 30. He says, if you want any etchings on it or something specific or something in the pommel, let me know. I can do...
No, I'm sure something will show up on its own.
Ah, I see. All
And
right.
I'll hand him over 30 gold. Let me deduct it from my thing.
He takes it and he says, pleasure doing business. If you need anything else, let me know. If you got friends, let them know too. We always ready for people.
I think I might know someone who's looking to replace his weapon also, but yeah, I'll send him your way if that's the case.
Sounds good to me. I appreciate your business.
Okay, thank you. And I'll lift the axe and then I'll walk back to the inn.
Okay. So he waves
And
you
when I
out.
get there, I'm gonna attune to my axe instead of my pike now.
Okay. I mean, you can't attune to it yet, but I'm
Okay.
sure you will be able to at some point later on.
Okay.
It is currently very plain looking, I guess is what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
Okay. So you, I'm ignoring the axes don't have pommels comment. Uh, for the audio audience who might listen to this later, I've been told. All right, so, okay. Anybody else want to do anything? You got some time? Everybody else is on mute, so...
Bree is just gonna go sleep and get ready to go for tomorrow.
Alrighty. So, okay. Bart, as you walk into the inn, because I assume that's where you went back to, unless there was anything else you wanted to do.
Nope. I'm going to the inn.
Okay. All right. So as you walk back to the inn and as you enter, you notice that the top of the axe, basically down the length of the entire shaft of the handle, is covered in little coins and emojis.
Can you elaborate on what you would call an emoji or which emoji?
Well, there's the like stick out tongue emoji, and then the other one's like the little poop emoji, and it kind of switches back and forth.
If I see the poop one, I'm gonna like shout in the sky. We had an agreement on the poop emoji.
Okay, it disappears, and now there's a little smiley face.
Okay. All right.
And now you may attune to it if you want.
I know I probably can't throw it, but
No.
I'm gonna do my best to just toss it away from me and try to recall it to my hand.
Okay. You toss it away. It makes its way back to your hand.
Okay, all right. Then I'll just jump.
It's not as instantaneous as the pike was. It's more like Captain America. So it kind of zoops back in like a.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right, cool. I don't like. I obviously have not used an active force, so I'm kind of like, how does one carry this around? Like,
How does one axe?
I'm like, do I like put it over my shoulder? Do I just hold it like this, like walking around? I'm assuming it's too tall to put it like on my hips, so I'm just like awkwardly just like.
Well, it'd be no different than your pike, really. You could tie it to your back easily enough.
Okay.
To give you an idea, because Brenna uses the exact same implement, that's what she usually does.
Okay.
So,
All right. I'll just try to like put it up my back, I guess, and then just
okay.
like I'm assuming like since I'm not used to the weight, I'm kind of like walking kind of funny.
Yeah, it would definitely be a little heavier than you're used to. The other thing you would notice as well is occasionally there's a bit more of a glint on the axe than there used to be. Like it looks fresher and more polished, whereas previously it was more rugged, I guess I would say, like looked like dull steel. Now it looks more like a bit silvery, I guess, is how I would describe
Okay.
it.
Cool.
Okay.
Yep. That's it.
For mechanics, it's a +1, by the way.
Oh, cool. I will add that here. Is that's to attack and damage or just
To both, yeah, that's to both.
Okay, cool.
You are welcome to name it if you want.
don't.
Part's like, I don't want to name things. What are you talking about?
It would make sense for it would make more sense if a name was just like etched on there or something. But like, I'm not naming it.
Okay. I mean, it might name itself down the road. You never know.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. And I probably won't
You won't appreciate it
care
probably
for it.
either.
I won't care for it that much. Yeah.
Mojax.
Yeah. Emojax. Emojax, yeah.
Mojax.
All right. So if you guys are not wanting to do anything else, we can go to the next morning if you want. Is the person I am... Is Rob's character going to be doing anything tonight? Just out of curiosity.
He might perform for gold before he goes to bed, but that's it.
Okay. Roll a performance check.
Okay. Wait, 5.
That's pretty good. All right, so you will have... Okay, roll me a d20, please. Just a flat d20.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. You have earned 4 gold
Okay.
and 4 silver.
Okie dokie. Better than nothing.
I mean, yeah. Okay. So I assume that's kind of your evening taken up, more or less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he would go and get a room.
Well, you guys already have rooms, because they gave you a room each. I can't remember if any of you agreed to sleep in the same room. I don't think you did. I think you all decided on your own rooms.
I'm pretty sure we did not, though.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. So you guys all have your own rooms. I think last time I mentioned the fact they have indoor plumbing. So that's one advantage to them. And yeah, so they are fancy. All right, so the next morning, Pree, you will hear a knock on your door.
Well, Pree will be getting up pretty bright and early.
Okay, how bright and early?
Like, before the crack of dawn early.
Okay.
And she will be packing up her horses by that point.
Okay.
By sunrise, she'll
Okay.
be, like, mostly ready to go.
Okay. As you are packing up, the you'll find someone standing at the stable who's got himself a very formal looking attire, and he walks up to you and says, excuse me.
But
They are looking for you and your fellows at the castle.
why?
I've not been allowed to mention that, or not allowed to mention that. I'm unaware of what the reason is. I've just been told to ask for you to come.
Well, they're still upstairs.
I believe other people are looking for them. They went to your room first and were told that you left early.
Okay. And she'll just keep packing. Get ready to mount her horse.
While you do that, Bart and Dimitri, on your door, you hear a knocking.
Both of our doors?
Yep.
Okay. There's no peephole, is there?
Not really, no.
Yes.
Sir, you're requested to appear in front of the monarch today, sir.
Why?
I'm not terribly sure. I was just sent to get you. Basically, this is the same discussion at Dimitri's door if he answers.
Thank you for telling me.
Okay. Dimitri's muted. There he is.
Dimitri would be sleeping, and he bolts up right at the knocking with a dagger and goes, "Pancakes! Hello?" He'll go to the door.
Okay.
Can I help you?
You are requested to go to the castle, sir.
Oh, Prince missed me already.
The monarch has requested your presence along with the rest of your colleagues.
I bet he did. Let me get dressed. And I close the door.
Okay. All right. So Pree's still packing her horse, trying to get away. The person who's been sent to retrieve you is still standing there, waiting for you to listen to what they're saying, and or do what you've been told.
I was requested, not told.
Okay, interesting. I mean,
There's a distinct difference for.
Okay. The young man looks at you and says, "Are you planning on going? Because I'm not going back without you. That doesn't usually work very well.
I'm due home.
That's nice.
I'm a couple years late on my promise. I'm due home.
I mean, that's fair, but I'm sure you can give the monarch a few minutes of your time.
Why? Not my monarch.
Fair, but monarchs aren't well known for their patience. Let's just put it that way.
That
Look.
sounds like a you problem.
Look, lady, man, you, them, he, whatever you is, if I give you 2 gold, will you go? I mean, that's...
3.
Fine. And he pulls out 3 gold, and he's like...
And she'll turn to the nearest stable hand. Keep them ready to go for me, please. And there'll be a couple gold in it for you.
The gentleman says, "You bet." And the young man turns and grabs a brush to brush your horse down.
Was the person waiting for both myself and Dimitri?
There's 2 people. 1 for each of you.
Right. So, but the person was waiting. The one for Pree was waiting for Pree. Is the one for myself and Dimitri? Are they waiting for us also?
Yeah.
Oh, because I didn't open the door. I just said okay, and it just.
Yeah, they're still there.
Oh, okay.
If you don't come out in 5 minutes, they're going to knock again, I guess, is what I'm telling you.
Oh, okay. No, I'm basically looking at myself. If there's a mirror, I'm kind of looking at myself with my axe and I should have. I'm gonna need armor.
I will say this: it feels a little easier to use the axe this morning than it was yesterday.
Okay, yeah, I'm just looking at looking at the axe and then looking at my chainmail. I'm like, just doesn't seem knightly enough. Then I'm gonna look at my coin pouch and Pree, you're wearing plate armor? Yes? No?
I mean,
Me?
yeah. You.
Him?
Them.
No, I think I don't remember what armor I'm wearing. Hang on, let me check. I have 0 recollection of anything.
While she's checking,
Yeah,
when they
fine.
knock on Dimitri's door, he's like, I said I'm getting dressed. If you want to watch me change, I'm gonna charge you.
Chainmail.
You don't get a big response back at that. Just as soon as you can, sir.
Yeah, as he's strapping on his breastplate.
Okay. So, right. So as Pree is being escorted back, I assume you guys are a few minutes, but you come out dressed.
Yep,
Oh,
just gotta put my coat on. He puts on his blonde blue coat when he comes out.
Okay.
All right, let's
I
go.
wasn't. Bart hasn't decided whether or not he's gonna go yet because he hasn't flipped his damn coin. So.
Oh boy. Okay. So while you're doing that, Dimitri will notice that there's someone standing out by Shin's door as well, and he's opened the door, and this little squirrel's like chittering at him. Like
You taking that squirrel to see the king? Wait.
He just kind of looks at you and shrugs, like I don't know what this is. This isn't. I mean, it's been running around the last 5 minutes. It tried to run up my leg a minute ago.
I don't remember. Have I ever seen Shin turn into a squirrel? I don't think I have. Have
No,
I?
no, you didn't.
Yeah, I have no. I'm just like, oh, okay. Yeah, have fun. I guess I'm going to the palace. Just walk down the stairs.
Yeah, Bart's not going to.
Okay.
Sorry, John.
Okay. They will knock on your door again.
Yes.
Much more insistent this time. Say,
Yes.
You are needed by the monarch. That is initially a request, but it can be enforced.
Sorry, coin says no.
Right. Not willingly, then.
Is there a window where I'm at?
I mean,
In my
yeah.
room?
Yeah.
Oh, what floor am I on?
About the 4th floor.
The king wishes to see you, sir. He just dives out a 4th floor window instead.
Let me check something.
Pardon his coin.
No amount of AC will help me in this. What is there?
No, you take basically this. We'll put it this way. It's about a 30, 40 foot drop. You will take damage for every 10 feet.
40 damage.
It's not like 40 damage. It's like you take so much per foot drop. Like 10 feet a drop, I think, is like 5.
Can I meet you there?
I
think.
was requested to accompany you.
That's fine. I'll meet you there.
You get no response back. But you do get the sense that there's still someone out your door. What an awkward
Sit down.
group.
I sit down on my bed and I start polishing my axe.
Okay. And he once again knocks on your door about 5 minutes later.
Yes?
Sir, can you unlock your door, sir?
Why?
I need to present you with something.
What is it?
I mean, I'm not telling you since you're not opening your door or complying in any way.
That's okay. I don't want it. Actually, hold up. Let me see if I want it. I don't want it.
Okay. All right. Okay, so Dimitri, Pree, you guys will enter an area in like at the front entry to the castle. Effectively, let me. For you guys, at least, I'll bring up a map for you to see. I don't think it's mission critical for everybody else to see it, but for you guys, I think it might be important. If I can. Oh, right.
As we meet up, I'll look at Pree and say, "Surprised to see you here. Thought you'd be gone by now."
They paid me.
Wait, you got paid to be here? I turn towards the one that's escorting me. Ahem.
He looks at you and bluntly says, "Hey, it's not. I'm not in charge of paying anybody anything, pal. How much did the dude pay?" And the other guy looks over and he says, 3 gold. He's like, that's an entire week's wages, you fool. He's like, I know. It wasn't a choice. They weren't coming.
Damn, I gotta be more aloof about these things.
Uh-huh.
Gotta get yourself a coin.
Gotta get. So you guys are on the bottom of the map, just FYI. Now, as you are brought to the entrance and you walk in, you will see positioned various statues that look to be kings of the past. You'll notice some of the older statues that are they're all well maintained, so none of them are like coming apart or anything, but some of the older ones look like more human looking, as the later ones definitely have pointed ears, at least slight pointed ears. Some of them have, their eyebrows seem to be tilted upward a little bit. Their eyes are a little more almond shaped than you would expect. You can't get coloring because they're not like painted or anything, but they're just sort of, you can see that something has changed about these kings over the years. And there were a few queens in that mix as well, and all of which, after a certain point, have these same type of features. And as you enter into the main entrance, you will see the staging ground where the king sits upon his throne. You see the prince sitting beside him and his wife, the queen sitting on the opposite side of him. Unlike the prince and the king, she looks completely human, with the exception of, like a lot of people do, she has eyes that are more leaning into lavender rather than like a green or blue or that kind of coloring. The king, however, has very crystal blue, I would say, but slightly faded crystal blue eyes. He has a very pronounced gray at the temples and on his beard, but still looks fairly distinguished, and doesn't have like crow's feet or stuff that you would expect from somebody who looks like they're hitting their late 50s, early 60s. He's more like, looks like he's in his 40s. And you can see he has pointed ears as well, which I believe I brought up last time. And as you come before them, the king says, "Greetings. I apologize for the rudeness of my my interruption today, but I needed to halt you from leaving because there may be a service that you can do for me if you so desire. You are by no means forced into that service, but certainly if you would be interested in it, we would certainly appreciate it." And he brings out a scroll and hands it to an older lady. She has very white hair. She has pince-nez glasses, which are tied off on a chain around her neck. And she wears very formal-looking clothing. It looks very fancy. And she takes the scroll and walks up to you. Actually, she walks up to Pree and hands it to her and says, "We are hoping that you might consider accompanying our ambassador to Anamatsu, as we need to send them on a diplomatic mission, and we're looking for specific people that might act as protectors for them on the journey, as it can be a little rough in that neighborhood, if you have interest." Please.
Just pokes it at Bart.
Bart's
Bart's
not
not
there.
there.
in the
Not
room.
there. It's just me and you.
Oh, it's Bart. Sorry, at the name I cannot say.
No, you can say it now. That's only a 5-minute
Oh, okay.
thing. That's
Dimitri.
fine.
She just pokes it. She pokes Dimitri with it.
I'll take it from her. Open it.
And she leaves.
And
She just turns around and walks out.
okay. The king looks quizzically at Dmitri. Where is the rest of your companions, and why is the knight walking out?
Oh, you mean Pree?
Mm-hmm.
Pree's a little, she doesn't like to do things for people.
Ah, okay.
Likes to do their own thing, I guess.
I see.
Uh, I mean, I'd be willing to do this. I don't know if I'll be going alone. Uh, Let me see what they're planning to do.
Okay.
This might be on the way to where they're going, or at least not too far off. And if you're planning to pay us, Pree would be more inclined to do it, I think. I don't know about Bart or Finn.
Obviously, there's remunerations in anything that we would ask anyone to do for us. Certainly, if you're able to take our ambassador up north for the entire discussion and return them south, we would be able to finance that.
I see what I can do, and I'll be back later today and let you know.
Thank you. And he nods at you and he says, if there's anything else we can help you with, or if there's any other, things you might have interest in doing instead, I'm certain there may be others who need your assistance.
I see. Well, thank you for the opportunity, and like I said, I will let you know what they decide.
He nods. The queen, however, looks over at you and says, Are you a magician at all?
A bit, yes.
Oh, if you have interest, we have some a touring group that has come around that is always looking for extra players on occasion, if that's something you would have interest in.
Oh. Yeah, I'm very interested in those kinds of things. That's
For,
mainly how I make money.
yeah, performances in front of the nobility here in Valegard are very lucrative. They are, shall we say, good tippers.
Oh. And where would I find them?
You can find them at, well, certainly if you talk to Milady here, and she nods at the older lady, Daniela will be able to point you where they might be found. She is well versed on some of the activities within the city. If you need anything else, you can always speak to the head of the guards. Garmalon is the head of our guards here in the city, and he knows quite a lot about the ongoing activities of various groups.
What was the lady's name again? I'm sorry.
Daniela.
Thank you very much, Your Majesties, for these opportunities.
That's great. She actually hands you a small token and says, "We thank you for appearing before us. This is for you. If you would like to make sure your colleague gets this as well, uh, it might be of use to you along your way."
He'll nod. Thank you very much, and I will, like I said, I will return and let you know what they decide about the escorting the ambassador.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We do have teleportation areas in the city, so if it's a matter of getting somewhere quickly, that may be of service to you as well.
Oh, very generous. Thank you.
she nods and pats the king's arm as he kind of looks at her a bit like, oh, you're giving away too much. And she sits down beside him, and you see more people have come to the edge of the court looking to be introduced.
So he'll give a deep bow, say, Your Majesties, and then he'll kind of shuffle off to the side where the old lady is.
Cool. Okay, so the old lady walks up to you and says, greetings, sir, and kind of squints at you like your name.
It's Dimitri.
Ah, Sir Dimitri, where are you from, sir?
I am from Honivus. Is that how it's pronounced?
Taunus, yeah.
Vanus.
Oh, our queen is from there. So you're a Credian.
Yes.
Wonderful. I hear lots of great stories about some of the more fascinating things that have gone on over there. Although I have not left the city a lot, my service to the kings over the years has kept me busy. How can I help you?
First he puts a hand on her arm and says, if you ever get the chance, you should visit. It's a beautiful city. Not a different kind of beauty than your city here, but still beautiful. And the queen did mention something about a troupe of musicians in the city that plays for the royalty.
Ah, yes.
I was wondering where I might find them.
The Royal Troubadours. They can be found in... you'll actually find them usually... during the day, they're out raising small coin out in the temple district quite often. They play in the evenings at the Royal Hall, which is closer to the castle here.
Well, thank you very much.
I should mention that if you have interest in other missions, if the escorting of the ambassador is not something you're looking to do, there is one thing which I know has been of concern amongst the locals in the mountain areas nearby, which might be something you might be interested in. In the mountains north of the city, there's an old temple to an old god that we don't really understand who it was for. And about 1,000 years ago, it was said to be inhabited by dark creatures and that there's ghost stories surrounding the area. And but there's rumors that there's a mighty weapon that might be found within it.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it was...
And sorry, what?
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I thought Pree said something.
She's got mute on, so I don't think so.
Do you know about how far that is away?
It's probably, I'd say, 200 miles north of here in the mountain range, going eastward.
Do you know if we were to accept the escort mission for the ambassador, will we pass close to that place?
Hopefully not. I mean, you would be going north, but typically with the ambassador, you would take a safer road, obviously.
I see. Yeah, I know. I'm the kill two birds with one stone kind of person, but I see your meaning.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. Thank you very much. You've been most helpful. And I'll give her a gold piece.
She looks at it and says, no, so you keep that. You look like you could use it.
He tries not to look insulted. I don't know if he manages it. He puts the gold back.
Roll a charisma check. No. She realizes you're like, what? She's like, she pats your arm and says, if you go over to the Knight's Repose, you'll notice a small, courtly, stately home over that way. That's mine. I don't really have financial issues
I
as
see.
such.
I get it now. Thank you.
Yeah. She nods and says, "Good to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you as well.
I hope you a safe journey no matter what you decide to do."
Thank you.
Okay.
Same to you. Well, if you decide to visit my city, I hope you have a safe journey there as well.
She nods and says, "If my king desires that I go, I will go. It's been 3 kings now, and no one's asked me to go, but you never know."
Anything can happen.
Indeed. I would like to see more of the world before I get too old to remember what it's like. And she then sits down at a little desk where she starts looking through some scrolls and says, "Good fortune to you nonetheless."
And to you as well. He'll kind of give her a slight, like, not as deep a bow as you did the king and queen, and then turn and go.
Okay. As you leave the castle gate area, you will see a couple of disgruntled individuals coming up the lane. He's like, he just never came out. I mean, like, all he wanted to do was give him some money. I don't understand what his problem was. He's like, I don't know. These foreigners are weird. What can I tell you? And he kind of shakes his head and seems very confused. And he looks up and sees you. He says, "Oh, sorry, sir." And they kind of step away to let you through.
No problem. As I'm passing by, I say, I wouldn't take it too hard. Both of my companions are a little odd when it comes to talking to people.
They're like, "Yeah, I mean, I kind of noticed." And then you see another one who's like rubbing his leg. And you can see like scratch marks and bite marks all over him. And he's like, "Which one of your companions keeps a squirrel? They're weird."
Well, I am not sure. I've never seen that squirrel before. And then would it kind of dawn on me that Shin has become animals?
I mean,
Or
you want to
'cause
roll
I've
it
seen
in?
him turn into a bear.
Mm-hmm. You
Yeah, I
want to?
could.
Yeah, you should probably realize he's a druid, right? So,
Yeah, so that I'll start to giggle and walk away.
okay.
Realize that he was the squirrel.
All right. So, I'm not sure where Pree was headed at the time, but nope, that didn't work.
Is that a check?
No, it's just a letter that I'm just using to straighten out my webcam because it's getting all out of sync.
It's like, John, are you trying to flex on us with your
No,
check or something?
no, I'm not flexing on you. Just using the white. It's an old trick that I learned from media people. All right. So if you ever want to
She went straight back to the stable and got on her horse.
Okay. As you go to get on your horse, a gentleman with some very long robes that are black. They have silver tinging fringes, and it stretches all the way down. And he has a really long, dark black beard. And he looks at you and says, "Going somewhere?"
Just look at him, gather up her other horse, start walking past him on the horse.
As you do, he just says, I was just gonna say, if you come by the Tower of Magic, they might be able to get you there quicker, if you are interested. Only 50 gold."
Keeps on going, doesn't even look back,
Okay.
doesn't acknowledge him.
All right.
She don't deal with those long-haired hippie creeps.
Okay. He
People. Long-haired
shrugs.
people.
Okay. He shrugs. All right. So Pree.
She would rather travel.
All right.
Yep. Pree's she's going home, like she said she was gonna.
Okay.
She's doing.
I would like you to roll me what would be the best option here? Would it be wisdom? Would it be survival? Let's say survival.
city.
Not for the city.
Uh-huh. Survival is where? At the bottom. 23.
Pretty good roll. You will get this. You know that Valegard's like about 1,000 miles away from your home. This is not like a 5-minute walk. This is like the better part of a month. I mean, just as an FYI, that's all.
Yeah, no. She does not trust other people's magic.
Okay. Okay. You will also know it is to the northeast.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she is sure as heck not gonna trust none of those dang transporters. Just her attitude is very much like Bones. Just imagine that when it comes to stuff
That's
like
fine.
that.
That's fair enough. All right. Bart, what are you doing there? It's been quiet outside your door for a while now.
He's gonna walk out and just walk towards that blacksmith again.
Okay. As you leave, you see trails of blood across parts of the floor out towards Shin's door. The door is open, and sitting on the bed in the middle of it is a squirrel that looks very satisfied.
Mark doesn't care. Mark walks to the blacksmith.
Okay. As you exit, how long did you wait? I guess I should ask that question.
He was mainly looking at himself and just thinking like something's missing. Like he has a picture of what a knight looks like in his head. And he's just like, so I think maybe like I don't know 3-4 minutes, and then he probably would have left.
Okay. All right. So you wander out, and as you do, as you get outside, I would like you to roll a wisdom check, please.
Save just a straight wisdom.
Yep. 16. Okay. Right. You'll catch the back of Pree riding towards the front gate as you do. You don't really notice that it's them. You just notice that it looks the horse and the person looks sort of familiar.
Okay. When I get back to the blacksmith, is that same guy there?
Yeah, it's his shop. There's like one other person now in there, young dwarf who's also off hammering in the other corner, and occasionally you hear him swearing under his breath.
Excuse me, do you sell armor?
I mean, depends on what you're looking for, lad. Are you looking for something more than just the regular armor? Are you looking for something a bit more protective, shall we say? Maybe links to magic or just plain normal stuff?
I don't think I have the money for the fancy magic stuff.
Probably not.
Just something better than this, and I kind of point to my chainmail.
I see.
Something that goes with this, and I take out the axe.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I don't know how familiar you are with barbarians, but they do like to use axes, and they don't wear very much. I mean, you could get away with a singlet.
No, I'm not a barbarian. I'm a knight, apparently.
I see. Okay. Well, I mean, you could go with a half plate. You could go with maybe scale mail, although I wouldn't call that necessarily better. You could try plate mail.
Ooh, how much for a plate mail?
One moment.
Ooh, that's 1,500. If he tells me that, damn. I need a. Where can I find a job that can pay me, 1,500 gold?
Well, there's lots of opportunities if you ask the right person, but I don't really know a lot. I know there's there's some sort of thing that as some pilgrims heading south, they're kind of looking for escorts. They might be willing to give you a bit of money. I know there's a merchant in town who is looking for ingredients for a love potion. He always mutters about when he comes in here occasionally. He might be willing to pay you a bit of money, but I don't think he's going to give loads of coin. He's a bit of a cheapskate.
Who's the one that has the highest chance of giving me the most amount of gold?
Well, pilgrims sometimes are pretty rich, but that depends, right? If they're just going down to G, I'm just going to say they're probably not going to be carrying lots of gold. They're probably going to be hanging at different people's homes, using local accommodations, you might say. So I don't know that either one necessarily. If you want to get real coin in this town, you got to work for the military, for something, or for the government, or possibly for the clergy.
When he mentions clergy, I'm like, I don't want to deal with another one of those. So government or military, huh? All right. On the evens for military, odds for government.
Okay.
Military. Who would I talk to in the military about getting a well-paying quest, job, bounty?
Well, you can always talk to the head of the guards. They're always looking for people to do odd jobs. And
Cool. Where is he at?
Well, the lieutenant or the captain, depending on who's in at the time, is usually found down by the guardhouse at the edge of the main gate you entered to come into town, usually.
Okay.
If you take the gate towards the river, that's a bit less likely that he'll be there, but he could be.
Okay. Just so we're clear, you do have plate mail, yes?
I mean, yeah. And he goes in the back and comes out and he shows it to you. I mean, if you want, I could just get you a breastplate. It's a little bit less expensive, if that would work better for you, at least for now. In the meantime.
No, there's no.
Art's got in his head. He wants that
It's in it now.
full-on
It's in
path
there.
engine. Okay.
I'll be back soon eventually, or yeah, when I have the money. All right, I'm gonna walk towards the guardhouse.
Okay. All right. So as you walk towards the guardhouse, I will say that you have to go towards the main road. As you do, Dimitri, you will see Bart wandering out from the market town district and head towards the main gate. By the way, you're muted if you're going to say something. Okay, now you're not.
Oh, I apologize. That was to me. I was reading the chat. I apologize. What were you saying?
I was saying...
I didn't realize you were talking to me.
Yes, as you're walking back from the castle, you see Bart, who didn't come with you, wandering towards the gate, like as if he's going to leave town, kind of thing.
Okay. I'll kind of yell this. Bart! Hey!
I will stop and turn around. You got 1,500 gold?
No.
I'll keep walking towards the guardhouse.
I do have a job from the king and queen. I don't know how much it pays yet, but it might pay that much. I kind of wave the scroll in the air.
I'll stop. What's the job?
Escorting their ambassador north and then back down here again.
You said you don't... Does the scroll say how much they're going to pay?
I will look at it. Does it say anything about that?
The scroll is more of a commission, I would say, but roll an intelligence check. We'll just see if you can suss kind of what these are usually paid. I mean, you're in the intelligence industry. You would know something.
Yeah, but my intelligence is terrible, so.
Well, it's not my fault. I mean, a 15
15,
isn't.
not bad.
No, not bad, not bad. Okay, so you know that typically because government contracts are kind of always a little bit padded, shall we say. Typically, you're going to get paid more doing those kind of jobs than you're going to get from, say, like working at a guardhouse, slopping out the stables, or
Yeah.
being sent
So
on
I'll
little
say-
missions to kill goblins.
I'll say, I mean, it's for the king. It's got to be one of the higher paying jobs that's around here.
Well, he looks at the scroll and kind of looks at the coin that he's always fidgeting with. Says, "I have to at least ask the guard. So let me see his price first."
Okay. One of their this lady told me about another thing too. Apparently, there's an evil temple nearby to the north that has a very powerful weapon in it. I don't think we could do both though. I held up the scroll. At least not right now. We'd have to do the.
How much is the other lady paying?
Oh, she's not paying anything. I think the reward for that is just whatever weapon's there. She just told me about it.
You said it was an evil weapon?
She said powerful, not evil.
I mean, I just bought a weapon, so the timing is not great, you know?
Fair.
So,
Again, that one's not a time constraint. We could always do that at some other time.
I mean, we could always sell the weapon for split the cost of it. Well,
That's true.
Okay. Well, you want to go to the guardhouse with me,
Uh,
or do you want to go chase, or do you want to go chase after Pree?
have you seen Pree? I don't know where she is.
Oh, she rode her horse out of town. That way. I point to whatever direction she went.
Basically, you're pointing the way you were walking.
I'm gonna look, and I don't know that I can catch her if she's on horseback. I mean, I could try.
We have horses. You can go on a horse.
True. I'll see if I can catch her. Yeah, I'll be back regardless. If you want to
Alright.
talk to the guards.
I'm gonna go check the guard, and I'll meet you back at the inn.
It's ask for Garmelion. He's apparently the guard captain.
Yeah.
That's what
Okay. Okay. Are you gonna give me the token also?
She asked me. She only gave me 2, right? One was for me, and one was for Pree.
Oh, okay.
Or
Sorry.
she gave me 3.
I mean, she gave you 2. She said one was for Pree, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I wouldn't
Alright,
have
cool.
mentioned it then.
I am just like, okay, cool. Actually, hold on. What was the name again? I'm gonna write it down because I'm gonna forget.
Garmelion?
Armelian?
Yeah. That's
Okay,
what I wrote.
cool.
Garmelion.
All right. Cool. Good luck with that. Yeah. Good luck with that. And I'm gonna walk towards the guard.
We'll head towards the stables.
And I turn around. Hey. Do you? Is what's it called? Is Shin coming with us then if we do this?
I haven't seen Shin. He was the squirrel earlier biting the guards. I don't know where he went after that. I'm also going to say, hey, did Pree take all the horses? Because technically all of them were hers.
Nope, mine was mine. I bought mine, remember?
Well, I borrowed mine from her, so I guess I'll see when I get there.
She took 2. I'm pretty sure she took 2. And about the squirrel, yeah, that actually makes more sense. I saw him still in the room last I was checked. Last I remember.
All right, see you later.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, right. So Pree,
You shouldn't have told us there's no fighting, because then that just made us split the party without any fear of consequence.
I mean, I said there'd be no fighting if you didn't decide to do weird things.
No, that was not. I don't remember that part.
Oh, I definitely said you can put yourselves into trouble. There's always a way.
Pree was always planning on leaving. Like, this was my entire plan for the next game. She was going home.
Art just wants to be a knight now.
All right, so you guys are.
I mean, if you should have told me that, because I'd be like, you know how you could get it to be a knight real fast? Doing things for the king and queen?
No, I'm already a knight. I just want to look the part now.
So Right. As you two split off, sorry, now I have to realize what everybody's doing. So you're going to look for Pree, right, Dimitri?
Yeah, I'm basically gonna ride as hard as I can the way she went, because
Okay.
obviously I need to go fast to catch up to her. But if I don't catch up to her in maybe 3 hours, I would just turn and head back to the city.
Okay, she's not got that much of a head start. Like maybe she's got 15-minute head start on you. So if you're riding hard because she knows the distance is quite the ways, basically you have to go south to go north because crossing the mountains is dangerous. So typically the route south is to Springard, and then from Springard to Limburn, which is to the north. And then as you follow the rivers and such along, you can get back towards where her family's from, or at least their house is at, I should say. But that's, like I said, it's about 1,000-mile trip, so we're talking
Would
hoofing
would
it is a long time.
escorting the ambassador bring us closer to her home? Like, is it sort of on the way, or at
Yeah,
least
yeah.
bring us a little closer?
So, so to kind of be clear, to the northeast is this city called Anamatsu, and the area around it, and she knows her family's from that area. You guys don't know that. She knows that they're
Gotcha.
from south of there. So yes, it would definitely be a trip along the way. She's obviously very confident in her ability to survive going alone, but be that as it may,
Not the
yeah.
first time she's done it.
I wasn't saying you didn't. I'm just saying you're very confident about it. So as you travel hard, and you go down the trail, would Pree have gone a quicker route but more dangerous, or would she have gone the more traveled route to be safe?
She's not in a rush.
Okay, so you take the more traveled route. Okay, so you will find her probably about a half an hour later, clip-clopping her way towards Springard.
Okay. So as I get kind of close where I think she can hear me, I would yell, "Hey, Pree, wait up! Gotta talk to you about something before you go."
You'll notice the horse slow down slightly. Just her shoulders will kind of get this resigned look to them as you see from the back, like.
I'll wait till I get up next, like my horse gets up to her, and then I'll reduce to the same speed. I'll say, "Hey, first the queen wanted me to give you this," and I'll hand her the medallion.
She'll look at it like, what is this?
I'm not sure. She just said it was a thank you for showing up. She gave me one too, and I'll show her mine.
Okay.
Second,
She'll
okay, no, go ahead.
yeah, she'll tuck it away in a pouch and just shrug it off.
Second, and I'll kind of, I know you didn't read this, but they want us to escort their ambassador, and they're willing to pay. I'm not sure where you're headed, but if it's on your way, or at least close to somewhere, you're closer to where you plan to go, might not be a bad idea.
Escorts. It's some high mucky muck, isn't it?
I mean, it's their ambassador, so semi-high. Not as high as the prince. He wasn't that bad. I'll open it and read we're going to, and I'll read, I don't remember what you said the city was. We're going to blah, blah, blah.
Blah blah blah. I do not say blah blah blah, except when I am saying that I do not
Blah,
say
blah,
it.
blah. Yeah. When did it start? I have never said blah, blah, blah in my life.
And Anamatsu, as a reminder for those of you.
Yes, I will say, it says that we need to take it to Anamatsu. I don't know. Is that anywhere near where you need to go?
I don't know, John, is it?
Yeah. Like basically, so imagine it's kind of to the north and east and towards the edge of the northern part of the continent. And the area where your family moved to is more or less just south of there. It's probably like a couple of hours south by
Okay.
horse, not by walk.
Do we gotta bring him back?
Yes. I mean, we don't have to, but if you want to get paid, probably. But I was thinking if we get him to where we're going, you could go spend some time with your family, depending on how long it takes, and then when you get back, we can escort him. Or we can kind of, say, hey, do you think someone else can escort you back if we really have to? Also, if we do come back afterwards, I've heard of a temple where there's supposed to be a really powerful weapon hidden.
Oh, that always ends well.
Uh,
But we're getting paid.
we are. And it's the king that's asking us, so I'm assuming we're going to be paid pretty well. It's probably negotiable, too.
Can we leave right away, or do we gotta wait around for this person?
I mean, it seemed to me like they wanted us to leave right away. We do have to collect Bart and Shin. Or at least Bart.
Who's Shin? I haven't seen him.
He was biting the leg of a guard last I saw him, turned into a squirrel.
Oh, okay. She was like, what? Oh, okay.
I have this image of Shin biting this guy on his shin.
I don't think he wanted to go see the king and queen either.
Jeez, I wonder why. As long as we're leaving by tomorrow, fine.
I'm sure I could make that happen.
Fine. And she'll just sort of slowly turn the horses back around.
I will
Go
also turn my
back
horse.
to the inn.
Okay. As you guys turn about and start your hour-long trip back, Bart, you reach the front gate. You will see there are a number of guards standing there, and they're kind of standing outside of a guardhouse, a very elaborate building, which looks like it goes back into the walls of the gate and goes down into the rest of the, like this entire area is surrounded by massively thick walls, probably about, kind of like, I guess they would be probably the width of like the walls of the Great China, like, what is it called? Why am I?
Great Wall of China?
Yeah, Great Wall of China. Why did I get that backwards?
The Great China.
Yeah, the Great China Wall. That makes lots of sense. So they're massively thick, like they're not small. And if you look inside, you can see that they actually walk into those walls.
Okay, can I use my experience as a guard to kind of mingle with them, kind of be a little bit more friendly with them, and like, I'm looking for Garmillion, Captain Garmillion.
Okay, roll a charisma check for me, please. Okay. One of the people you run into is a young lady. She looks like she's younger than you. She has very light blonde hair. She has very dark eyes, and she kind of looks at you and goes, "Oh, you're looking for the captain, are you? What would you? Is there something I should tell him you need, or do you just want me to try and introduce you?"
Let's just go with that first. Yeah, just an introduction first. Trying to.
All right.
Yeah.
Well-
I used to be a guardsman myself, so just trying to,
Ah, I
catch
see.
up.
I see. Where at?
I don't remember the name of my town. 3 seconds.
A little village.
It's a small town, Pentra, or at least near it, I guess.
Ah, okay. So to the west. Ah, okay. Interesting. All right. Well, if you will accompany me, I can take you back into there. And she says the captain's quarters and his office are on the second floor. So
Okay. Sounds good.
she opens the door and nods to her fellow guards. They kind of smile and say, "Go ahead," and kind of snicker to themselves, like as if it's like that reaction will be great. And you head into this structure. As you head in, you see that the thickness of the walls kind of is a little deceiving because the space that you think you're going to walk into is actually a little narrower than you're imagining. But it's because you can see like there's closed portholes all along this wall facing outward. And you can see areas where there are weapons set up and arrows, and there's ballistas and all sorts of different things set along as you're walking past, and they are massively prepared for battle. And some of the weapons look very dated, other ones look like they're very well maintained, and the bigger the weapon, the more maintained they look, if I was to say anything. But the interesting portion of it is what you notice is that the portholes themselves appear to blend in from the outside. Like you didn't notice any of this on the outside of the walls, but on the inside you can see that there's like these little leather straps that they use to pull them out. So there's obviously some sort of magic which makes them look like stone, and then they can open them up to be able to fight with. And Valegard is a well-known city for being very much a place where historically battles have happened and are very well prepared most of the time for them. They then take you along the path, and then you go up a set of very narrow stairs to a second floor, which is much different. It's much broader. A lot of the protections that are on the main floor are a little less intricate here. There's still like arrow slits in the walls and things like that. And there's different sort of oversight areas where to the inside you can actually see almost like a one-way mirror kind of effect. So you can see out and you can actually see the courtyard out, and different ones have different different parts of the city that they seem to be looking at, almost like security cameras. And they then take you back. This is nothing like what you're used to. This is just completely bonkers. And eventually they lead you back to an area which is very elaborately set up. You can see off to the side an entrance to a room which has this big bed in it and a desk and a bunch of papers on the desk and random things everywhere. And then just off to the side of that is another office which appears to be closed, and the gentleman, the accompanying guard, knocks on the door, and she goes, "Sir, we have a visiting guard that would like to speak with you." And you hear a voice answer, "A visiting guard, you say? What sort of guard is that? And what do they want with us anyway? You leading them in here like giving away our secrets? What are you? Crazy?" And this door opens, and there's this little short dwarf, armored to the teeth in this massively elaborate plate mail armor. And you see this massive oak desk in the background with like gold inlay and trim everywhere. And then behind on the wall are these golden axes that just shimmer and are probably worth a fortune. And in front of you is this big brown beard dwarf, and he's bald on top with just a little poof of hair that circles around back. And he looks at you and says, "So, lad, what brings you here? What are you doing in my guardhouse?"
Bard is kind of distracted by the plate armor. I'm like, that looks beautiful.
"Aye, it was handed down to me from me grandpa."
That's actually why I'm here. Well, kind of why. I'm looking to buy plate armor, and it's expensive. You got a job for me that I could help with?
Well, what are you talking about? You talking about enlisting?
What is the most lucrative job you can offer me?
Well, I mean, if you have experience and you, have you led men before, lad?
I've been in a team, kind of, where I attacked first. So yes?
He waves you in, he tells you to have a seat. And
Thank
you
you.
see him walk, and sort of it's more like clonk, clonk, clonk with all the plate. And he
So when I look at,
walks. Mhm.
if I see the axes, I'm like, oh, those are also beautiful, and I kind of like show him my back. This is all I can afford at the moment, though.
Ah, well, that one will actually do something. Those things, they don't kill nobody. They're just there for decoration. My
Yeah.
former captain had them up on the walls. I figure they're a good intimidation factor and a little bit impressive for the rich snobs when they come in.
Yeah, yeah, good point. Good point. It worked, kind of.
Yeah, the knobs need to be impressed, don't they?
Unfortunately.
We commons got to stick together. And he heaves himself into this chair that's way too big for him, slides it up by hopping, basically, up and down, like to move the chair towards into the desk. And
I'm gonna wait before he like kind of gestures me to sit before I sit.
okay, beside on the desk is a great big stein, and you see him lift it up, and he takes a big swig out of it, and then he looks at you and he says, "So, you say you fought before? That's what I'm gathering from that comment earlier.
Yeah,
You have some battle experience, do you?"
yeah. Fought some weird cultists in our group or in my town once. Uh, fought some
Cult-
goblins.
Wait, you said cultists?
Yeah, do I still have that necklace? I think I still do. I never gave it away, right?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, they were wearing this thing here. I showed it to them. I'm like, they were kind of going crazy and unresponsive. I did my due. I gave them our warning, like every guard does. Didn't flat out try to kill them and whatnot, but they wouldn't stop, so I had to put them down.
He says, "Lad, I seen that before." And he opens up a desk drawer and he pulls out a coin and he puts like 15 coins, all with that emblazoned symbol on it. And he says, "We had a bit of trouble with them a little while back. They've been raising a ruckus in Limburn, sorry."
Uh, you ever figure out what the cause was?
They're crazy cultists. Do they need a reason? They're following some death god. That's the only thing I really know.
Uh, see, you said you took care of that issue though.
I mean here, but not in Limburg.
You think they'll pay well to have this issue taken care of?
Lad, if you can take care of that issue, I'm pretty sure that we can pay you for it. What are you looking for? How much you need? What is he you're trying to get the money for? You said plate mail, right?
Yeah, I'm a knight now apparently, and I feel like I should dress like one.
He kind of
Match the
looks
shine,
at you up and down. He says, "Well, if you're a knight, you better bloody well look like one, I guess."
right?
Um,
Yeah.
well, I mean, okay, so, all right, this is just between you and me and the fence post, okay? So,
Mm-hmm.
I can get you plate mail. You won't
Go
have
on.
to pay any gold for it if you do this job for me, though.
This Lindbergh job?
Yeah, Limburn needs somebody to go in there and straighten it out. I've sent men there. A couple of them came back with axes in their heads on a cart.
What is there a time frame that this needs to be done? I might have another job lined up that could fetch me enough money for the armor. But if yours, if I have to do, I'm not sure if that will cover it fully or not. So I mean, if we can finish that job quicker or fast, and I can take care of your job after, or vice versa.
Okay. And he strokes his beard for a little bit, kind of twists it. You kind of see he's like braided it periodically, so like and it goes down like this, so across his tummy. And he says, "Look, I'll tell you this, lad. If you can do it within the next couple of weeks, if you're able to at least go to the town and see what's going on, if you can give us some information as to whether they're still there, we can at least get you 100 gold for that. But if you're able to roust them and get rid of them, I mean, I'm more than willing to part with this, but, and he kind of pats not his own, he makes it very clear, but some plate mail. But he says, if you have others that can help you, depending on how many of them you get, if you bring me back these tokens, because it seems like every damn one of them has them, every token you bring back, I give you 100 gold for it. How about that?
In addition to my plate, or
Well, let's see how complicated it is.
all right.
I mean, if you kill like 3 cultists, I'm not going to give you a plate mail armor for that. Especially if you have like 8 people with you.
All right, so if I kill like I don't know 10 of them and bring you 10 gold for myself, we'll talk about the armor.
Aye, lad, we will.
All right, I know at least one other person who likes killing for money, so shouldn't be too hard. But yeah, you said at least a couple weeks.
I mean,
a couple weeks.
It's been a while since we heard from the last ones we sent out there, so I'm assuming it didn't go very well. Either that or they found some lasses to live with, but either way, it would be good to at least get something for it.
Got it. All right. You got yourself a deal, and I'll reach my hand out to him.
He takes it and shakes your hand and kind of, he's pretty buff, so it's like pretty hard shake. And he says, "Here, 1 minute." And he whips out a scroll from his desk and grabs his stylus, and he writes something on it in common, which says, "The bearer of this item has been commissioned by the guards to deal with cultists in Limburn. Please give assistance where possible."
Okay. Okay. I will take a look at it. Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right.
Enjoy your sign.
Aye.
And I'll walk
out. He waves at the young lady who's still hanging out there, and he says, "Accompany the young man out, would you please?" She nods and says, "Yes, Captain, I will do." Also, boy, do me a favor. Don't be telling nobody about our little setup here, if you would, please.
Nope. Guards stick together, you know what I'm saying.
Aye.
I give him a little salute, and then I'll walk out.
Aye. So he nods at you and sits back down and drains his drink while you're wandering away. The young lady kind of looks at you and says, "So, you've been given a commission, I see."
Yep. I need money.
Ah, okay.
I don't normally need money. Kind of regret giving away so much of my money, but yeah.
So, you traveled here from Credion, right?
Yeah.
Wow, what was that like? Was it scary?
Not really, no. It was kind of a blur, to be honest.
Oh, okay. I've never really been very far out of town. You know, farthest away I've been is out to Springard for the festivals. But we haven't done a whole lot of military maneuvers since I got here anyway.
You know what? You remind me a lot of myself until I got a coin. I suggest you get a coin.
Oh, really? Does that help?
Yeah, you flip it, and if it says leave town, you leave town.
Oh, that's random.
It works.
I see. Fair enough. Well, I wish you good fortune, sir, and I hope to see you again. And she leads you to the door.
Okay, thank you. And then I'll walk towards the inn.
As you do, you hear the other guards kind of mutter, "You got a commission? How did you get a commission?"
Because I'm random.
Indeed.
Yep.
So,
I doubt that Pree and Dimitri will be there, so I'm gonna go kind of talk to the bartender to see if I can get more information on what's going on in Lindbergh.
okay. So the bartender there, he's like, well, Lindburn's an interesting city. Normally it's like, it's just a sleepy little town, just kind of agricultural base. It's where a lot of the fruit comes from that serves the city here. But it's had a bit of a religious revival going on, from what I understand. Some of their citizens have come out singing about Marileth and going on and on and on about the blessings of the dark goddess. I don't know. It's weird. Not much to pay attention.
Is Marilith the name of the god that you mentioned?
Well, you would need to roll a religion check for that one.
Okay. I'm gonna ask the bartender. I'm like, "Who's Marilith?"
He says,
I
wow.
have no idea who that is.
I mean, I'm not a very religious fellow myself, but if you know your little mythology, she was some sort of they nickname her the bringer of death in some places, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah, that tracks. How far is that from here?
Limburn?
Yeah.
It's probably about 300 miles away. You got to go down towards Springard and then back up again to get to it, unless you want to go through the mountains, but the mountains are a bit dangerous.
You said 300 miles towards Spring Garden and what?
No, it's 300 miles. So you go down towards Springard, which is about 100 miles south towards this river valley area, and then you go north along the river to Limburn.
300 miles total, okay. Okay, roughly how long do you think that would take, John, to go by horseback?
It's a good, I want to say, 3-day journey.
Got it. Okay. All right. That helps. Thank you. John, how long is that? What time of day is it now?
I mean, it was morning when you guys went to the thing, so I mean, it's probably like 11:30.
Okay.
It's about
You know where,
it's about this point when Pree and
oh,
Dimitri
okay.
are getting back into the city.
I wouldn't know that, right?
No, you wouldn't, unless they came straight back to the
Okay.
hotel.
You know what? I'll have lunch.
Okay. So you know your money's no good here, so you can have whatever you want because of your service to the crown. All of your expenses at this hotel have been covered for the next 2 weeks.
Okay. I'll look over at the I'm a bartender or whoever waitress. I'm like, can I sit there when I point to an empty table and I'm like, can you just bring me whatever you would recommend for food and drink, please?
Okay. The waitress brings you a bowl of soup and a couple of pieces of toast, and just a drink of water. Basically, very
Okay,
inexpensive, plain.
cool. I'm happy with that. And I just start eating and kind of waiting.
Okay, so Dimitri and Pree, you guys enter into the town, the city, I should say, back through the front gate. The people recognize who you are and let you in without much trouble. Not even basically a question. And I will say, if you look at the tokens you've been given, you will see marked on them what looks to be two people standing face to face, looking at each other. They're holding some sort of globe in their hand, or a small ball, I guess. It's a little too indistinguishable to be able to tell what it is. And then in the back of it is the symbol of Lahuni, the bringer of light. And you can tell that the woman is depicted as if she has very large pointed ears. And Dimitri, do you read Elven?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys will both see it says peace on the bottom.
Is that my god? I don't remember if that's my god or not.
I'm trying to think if it's... No, I think yours is Bidwin, the bringer of life. But I'd have to go...
Light.
That's what
Life,
mine
not
is.
light. Life. Okay.
Yeah, mine is the bringer of life as well.
You sure a god? Yay.
I mean,
I mean, I'm probably not as devout as you are.
Yes, Pree is just so
So devout, yeah.
Uh-huh, yeah.
She gets bullied by the god to do things occasionally. That's about it. Okay. So you guys are back in the city. And I assume you put your horses back at the stables for the moment?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now what?
And I'll say, I don't know if you want to come with me to try and negotiate a fee for this. If not, I'll just go tell, because I know you don't like talking to people. So I'll just go tell them that we're leaving in the morning at the very latest.
And lots of gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And lots of gold.
Lots of gold. You do that. Make it worth my time.
Okay.
And
I'll
she'll
meet you
trudge back into the inn.
at the inn as she walks away.
So as you're walking into the inn, you'll see Bart sitting there eating his soup and his toast. Okay.
Do I see her walk in?
Mm-hmm. She's not
Hey,
quiet
Pree, you
about
want to
it.
go kill you? Hey, Pree, you want to go kill some things for gold? 100 gold a head?
We're already escorting a dumbass for gold.
Do we know how much gold?
Not yet, but it's for the king.
Wait, where's Dimitri? Is he going to go negotiate? 'Cause I need a specific amount.
He's heading that way, but he just left, so you should be able to catch him.
Okay. Cool. I just leave my food, I guess, and I'll walk towards where she kind of nodded. If I see
sits
Dimitri,
down
if I see
and eats his
Dimitri, I'm gonna
food.
yell. I'm gonna yell out.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't have been running, so he's just walking that way.
Okay.
Dimitri, you gonna go negotiate?
Yeah, I'm going to see how much they're willing to pay us for this.
All right, I'll go too.
Okay. As you guys walk out of that area of the town and you go into the castle quarter, as you're walking towards the castle, you'll see sort of at the edge of the main path, there's a massive tower structure which features in front of it, one of which is a massive library. There's two big sort of tower type structures. One's the massive library that Shin has been to in the past. But the other structure has a person who walks out of it, turns your way. The person has a pile of like scrolls and books and all sorts of stuff, and you can kind of tell they're not really looking where they're going. And let's see. I'm gonna do a kind of. I'm gonna do blah, blah, blah. Why can't I now suddenly not remember your character, Anthony?
Bart?
Bart. Yes, sorry. I was gonna do a Bart and do a roll for this. All right. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So, Dimitri, I would like you to roll me a dexterity check, please.
Hmm. Is this because they look like they're going to crash into me?
Mm-hmm.
I will deliberately crash into them if it looks like they're going to
Okay.
knock them over.
So this person blops right into you with this big pile of books, barely looking like they're trying to look around, but they're really not seeing very well. And they smash into you, and everything goes everywhere. And they fall on their butt looking straight at you, and you fall on your butt looking straight at them. And you see this young man, probably 20, and he's wearing these sort of very dark looking robes. They have kind of a gray trim to them, and very long, and he has like the bare hint of a beard, like it's very scribbly, like basically he can't grow one to save his life, and doesn't have a mustache. It's just this peach fuzz everywhere. And the young man looks at you and goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Oh my goodness, I wasn't looking where I was going. My apologies, sir. And
Oh, don't worry about it. It's perfectly fine. Bart, here, help the man pick his things up, and I start picking them up, and I'm gonna try and slip one of the scrolls into my pocket without him noticing.
well, do a thievery check on that
I
one.
will.
This is just some random dude.
12.
Yeah.
Damn it.
You try. He kind of like, no, don't put him in your pocket. Please, don't.
Oh, right, sorry.
I'll get in so
I
much
thought this one was mine.
Uh,
Help with it.
the Archmage will kill me if I lose anything. These are incredibly important. Some of these are so old. They're that and he points up at the sky and points at a moon which is in the daylight that you guys can see, and it's purple. And he's like,
Oh, yeah.
they're trying to figure this thing out, and they've sent me to go through the library looking for everything. And now
Bart doesn't listen to Dimitri, just walks away towards the king.
and the young man is picking up everything, and he's like, and where are you from, sir? Are you from here?
No. And he goes to say friends, and then he says, companions and I, we helped rescue the prince, and we were bringing him here back to the castle.
You rescued the prince? Oh my.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Wow, you must be very talented.
Well, I like to think so. I'm actually from Tonavis.
Oh, really? I have a friend of mine who is from Credion as well. He had very good things to say about it. I myself, I'm originally from Springard, but
Oh yeah. What brought you way up here?
I'm learning how to be a magical person, be a wizard. They said my parents are all like, you get all this education, it'll help you earn a living, and it'll give you all these powers. And I was like, oh, okay. All because I knew how to divine water with sticks. They're just crazy people. But nonetheless, now I'm here doing that. I guess it was that or going to the priesthood, and I didn't want to do that. So
Yeah, no. Nobody should go in the priesthood.
no fun. I mean, you can't even go out to drink with some of them.
So how is it going? Have you learned any magic?
Some things, and he waves his hand, and a bunch of the scrolls levitate onto his arm. And he says, I know how to do some basic stuff. Nothing fancy, but, useful. I can blind you. I have light spells and things like that, but, haven't really done much. Not yet, anyway. My name's Bartholomew, by the way.
Really? And I kind of thumb over where Bart went. I'm like, that guy's name he's a little bit different, but I call him Bart too.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't really like Bartholomew. I usually go by Lou.
No. All right. Well, Lou. And I pick up the scroll because I kind of threw it down so that I could have an excuse for putting a scroll in my pocket. And then I'll pick up the scroll that the king and queen gave me. I have to go talk to the king and queen, but I might be performing later with the I don't remember what they were called, but I'll tell the troubadours or whatever that play for the king and queen. If you're interested, come by and say hi.
Oh, you are a musician as well. You're very talented.
I like to think so.
Hmm. Well, um, my goodness, you just are you are you are you living here now?
No, actually, we're leaving for. Crap, I can't keep forgetting the name. What's the name of the northern town again? I gotta write this down.
Adamatsu.
Adamatsu. I'm actually leaving for Adamatsu in the morning, but I'll be back after that.
You see his face drop a little bit. He says, "Well, when you get back, if you come by the wizard tower and just ask for Lou. I'm one of the acolytes. They can definitely let me know. I wouldn't mind hearing some of your music outside of just you performing in a big group.
Sure.
Awesome." He smiles at you and with his massive pile of books and scrolls says, "Thank you very much. I appreciate you helping picking out. Thank you for not taking anything. It's such a insane time. This stupid moon. They're all aflutter about it. They say it's some sort of magical sign. I don't know."
Dimitri will actually turn and look at the moon for a moment and just kind of pause, staring at it, and then turn back. Yeah. Hopefully a good sign, but I have a feeling it's not.
I mean, so they say. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I hope to catch you later.
I'm sure you will. I got to escort somebody to Adamatsu and then escort them back again. So I'll see you when I get back. We can
Awesome.
hang out, have a drink.
Cool. Sounds great to me. Lovely to meet you. And he turns and starts walking towards the wizard tower.
All right, and then I will turn and go head towards where Bart went. I'm sure he got there before me.
Yeah, probably.
The one they haven't really. Well, I mean, they met him before. Like the one that wasn't there this morning.
The
How
one,
much gold are you going to give us?
the one thing you do notice, yeah, the one thing you do notice as you go to turn away is that Lou kind of realizes after a second he's gone the wrong way and turns the other way, and starts going to a different tower, all very flustered. Okay, so Bart, you arrive at the palace.
Yeah. Is there anything stopping me? Is there a guard?
I mean, there are guards. They do recognize you from a couple of days ago, or yesterday, I guess. I guess it wasn't that long ago. And the one walks up and
Yeah.
says, "Hi, can we help
Yeah.
you?"
Hey. Yeah, I got a possible job for the king or queen or whatever. Trying to figure out how much they're gonna pay me.
King or queen or whatever. Well, you probably have to talk to Daniela. She's kind of the chief of the exchequer.
Okay. Where can you tell me where she is?
Yeah, I mean, they were holding court this morning. They stopped for the lunch period. So she's probably right now with the other administrators, and he kind of points to a side building within the castle walls, basically built on the side, like not in the palace area. It's kind of a side building. Says usually she's there. She's usually bossing around the other people who run the bureaucracy.
Okay. Cool. Do you mind if I kind of point towards?
Uh, yeah, I mean that's fine. and he points to another one of the guards. Says, "Hey, Jonas, can you accompany this young man over to talk to Daniela?" And he goes, "Sure, sure, I can do that." And he says, "Sir, if you'll come with me."
Okay. Now I will I'll start taking a few steps, and then I'll kind of realize that Dimitri might not be with me. So I look behind me. Do I see him?
Yeah, probably by this point. I mean, the flustered conversation wasn't massively long.
Okay. I'll say, one second. I'm gonna turn. Yo, Dimitri, hurry up!
He'll start jogging.
Did I hear the other guy introduce himself as Bart?
Depends on how close you were at that point.
I think I just walked the moment that Dimitri was like, "Hey, help him pick up the stuff." I just walked away. So probably not.
No, probably not then.
Okay, and then I can't. All right. Hey, this guy's gonna take us to someone who could give us more discrete information about how much we're getting paid.
I'm assuming you mean Daniela.
Uh, is Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Uh, by the way, what's the time frame on that? This job, I got a possible job from the guard.
Well, Pree wants us to leave in first thing in the morning.
How long do you think this job is gonna take?
Uh, it's I would know it's at least a couple weeks to get there, right? And then a couple weeks back.
More than that.
I'll say probably around like you. Oh yeah, you said it was about a month or whatever, right, for her to get there.
Yeah, if you're
It's
not
about a
using
couple months.
magical means, yep.
Yeah, I would be like it'll probably be a couple months at least.
You think I could convince Pree to go somewhere else for 3 days first?
I mean that would also be up to the ambassador, I suppose.
If only
mean,
we
we
had,
can
if
we
only
can
we
ask.
had a device that allowed us to talk to each other long distances. Such.
We can ask Daniela first if the if he wouldn't mind waiting a couple days, and then you can talk to Pree.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. All right. I'm following this guy, and I point to the guard.
The guard is listening to your conversation. As you start to move off, they accompany you to the door of the building. He says, "One moment, please," and knocks on the door. And this middle-aged woman answers it and says, "Yes, how can I help you?"
We're here to speak with Daniela. Have our answer about escorting the ambassador.
Ah, oh, you're the people who helped rescue the prince the other day.
Yes, that would be us.
Ah, yeah, oh, sure, sure, sure. Come in, come in, come in. Please have a seat. And there's like this little entry cove where they have like various chairs and couches and things you can sit on. And she says, "I will fetch Daniela. One moment, please." And she goes back into the kind of back area. You can see there's various desks and scrolls up on racks in the walls, but it has a door in front of it which kind of opens so you can kind of look in briefly as it closes. And the old lady that you saw previously comes out. Of course, Bart hasn't seen her before, and she is looks like she's hiding that she was eating. And as she comes up to you, she quickly just kind of puts her hand to her mouth for a second, and then says, "Ah, you've made a decision, have you?"
How much are you paying us?
Uh, uh,
Yes, the rest of my party was most interested in that aspect of the job.
I see. Well, with the trouble that you would need to go, I mean, say for the fact that we might be able to expedite your journey a little bit with some by magical means. Even if you don't take that route, I mean, I'd say it's at least 5,000 gold.
Wait, is that each or per or divided by however many people are gonna do this job, or what?
She's like, what? No,
Yeah.
that's everything. That's all in.
All in. Let's see.
It's 1,250 gold each part.
My intelligence is not that high. Oh no, it's a 2. All right, cool. Uh, okay, all right. No, it's not bad, not bad.
She does look at you quizzically and says, I can say we can give you some money up front to cover some of your expenses, and then you will get the remaining. Well, I can give you the entire amount once you get back.
I need the entire amount anyway, so it doesn't matter if I get it now or later. But yeah.
Well, what do you need it for?
I want armor. Very good, sturdy, knightly looking armor.
Oh, and she says, "Oh, is that all?" And you see her.
Costs 1,500 gold minimum, apparently.
She looks over at Gertrude, or at this lady, and she said, Gertrude, come here." And the lady who had let you in walks over, and she says, "This young man could use some armor to help him along the way. Would you commission something for him, would you please?"
Plate armor preferred.
The middle-aged woman looks you up and down, says, "I mean, probably." And you see her take her hands and she kind of balls them up and then brings it out like this, and you see like this scroll come out, and then in the middle of it there's like this glass eye, and she looks at you through the scroll, and you can hear.
Ironic that I can't hear anything the moment you said you can hear, because you muted yourself or something, John.
Yeah, we can't hear you, John.
I don't know
Oh, there
why.
you go.
There you go.
I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. So it must have just Discord.
Was it just me, or because I heard like and you hear and then
maybe he wasn't saying anything.
No,
Like you were poking at like a paper, but we couldn't hear.
Oh
anything.
yeah, I was definitely talking. So Discord must have dropped for a second for y'all. But yeah, I haven't touched my keyboard at all. So yeah, no. So they picked out this scroll. There's a glass eye in it, and as she's looking at you through the glass eye, you hear this scritching like down the scroll, and then she rolls it up and then hands it to you. Doesn't hand it to you. Turns and calls a guard to her and says, "Go down to our blacksmith and take these figures with you. Have them make some quality plate mail for this young man. I would like it by probably tomorrow, knowing the ambassador, but as soon as they're ready to go, I want it to be with his supplies." And they're like, "Okay, ma'am, I will do that right now." And this younger man takes a scroll, and you see him dart off towards the gate, and he disappears out of the palace.
So Bart's gonna kind of like look at that person leaving him like, so if I finish this job, I get the armor?
Yeah, you can keep the plate. It'll be in addition to what we'll pay you. That's a pittance.
Okay, I look over at Dimitri's like, all right, then it's all you, and then I leave. That's all I really. Now Bart doesn't. You shouldn't have done that, John. Now Bart goes back to his old ways and is not giving a shit.
So Dimitri will look at her and say, well, that was one sticking point, so thank you.
She leans in and looks at you and says, "I mean, he doesn't get to keep it if he doesn't fulfill the contract. Just saying."
Yeah, I figured. I will let him. I will make him understand that. Also, our other sticking point is that Pree, who was here with me earlier, wants to leave first thing in the morning. Would the ambassador be ready by then?
I'm sure they are anxious to get on the way as well, so I'm sure they would be probably ready by then. The armor should be ready by then. They're usually pretty good about having stuff in stock. Trying to get his size. He looks fairly average. I don't think will take very long.
Awesome. Would the ambassador like to meet us somewhere, or would he just want to come to the inn at some point tomorrow?
Oh, I was just coming back here. Probably
Okay.
about just probably a little after sunrise. If he's ready to go, he'll be anxious to leave at that point.
Very well. I will talk to Pree about taking the shorter route, but I would not hold my breath.
Well, I mean, that's up to you. Certainly, the ambassador might be. He's a little different, shall we say, as well. But yeah.
Okay, then. I will see you in the morning. Thank you for your time.
You are most welcome. I will say this about him: he is very much a man of letters and negotiation, but isn't always interested in small talk.
Well, out of our entire party, I think I'm the only one that's interested in small talk, and I will refrain if he does not watch it. So, I think he's good.
She smiles and says, I am kind of not surprised by that, based on my interactions with your party to this point. If there's anything else you need, please don't hesitate. We're certainly very willing to help out any heroes like yourselves. I definitely would be willing to assist where I can.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate all your help.
Thank you. So, with that, Pree, what were you doing?
Eating Bart's food.
His unexciting soup and toast and water.
And then she also ordered mead.
Okay. All right. Bart, where are you headed?
Probably to the inn, I guess, since all I need to do is wait.
Okay.
I'm still kind of fingering the contract that the guard gave me, but we'll see. I can always check back on that later. Wait, it's not on the. I actually have no idea where we're going, so like Bart kind of stops and think about that for a minute, and like for a brief moment, it crosses his mind that maybe he should start caring about shit stuff. Then it's like, and then he'll just like go back towards the end.
I will say that Limburn can be on the way, but it's not like a direct way. It's a little bit off the beaten path.
And well, I mean, we're escorting someone, right? So I doubt he's gonna want to. It's fine, whatever. As long as I got my armor, I don't think Bart cares anymore.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you go back to the inn as well then?
Yeah. Do I see finishing up my food?
I mean, yeah. I mean, as you walk in, like if you walk into the inn, you're going to see them because there isn't loads of people there. It's a very fine establishment. It's not like it's like heaving with drunkards and crazy people. The one thing I will say is actually if you can roll a perception check, both of you. Okay. Them rolls is great. 6 and a 9.
I didn't think I would beat you, but apparently I did.
Yep. Okay. All right. You don't really notice anything else. Just sit down and I assume you're going to eat as well again, or what are you going to do?
I'll sit down. I'll kind of gesture for the waitress or bartender. I'm like, can you bring me another order of food? Anything? I don't really care. Again.
She nods and goes away and comes back this time with a little, like a half slab of lamb, rack of lamb, and some sort of like green vegetables and a bit of rooted, like a potato.
Okay, I'm gonna start eating and say, hey, Pree, you know where we're supposed to take that guy that we're escorting?
What?
You know what the actual assignment is that the king has asked us to do? I know it's an escort mission, but you know where?
Escort him to. What's the name of the place, John?
Adamatsu.
Animatsu.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, anyways, I'm getting armor and then money, but I don't know how much money, but at least armor and money. Oh no. To 5,000 gold for split between all of us.
But
Yeah.
do we
But
gotta split it
also,
with Mr. Squirrel there? Because he's still Squirrel.
I don't know. He just said 5,000 for all of us. So if he goes with us, I'm assuming he gets a portion. But also, I mean, if we want to stop by a town, the guard is willing to pay me or us 100 gold per cultist we kill. So there's that.
I just want to go home.
Okay. I just start eating.
All right, Dimitri, were you going anywhere else this afternoon?
I would go back to quickly talk to them, but then I would go off looking for the bard troupe.
Okay.
Musicians.
As you enter into the inn, can you roll me a perception check? And can you beat these two plugs?
I'm starting to
Maybe.
think there's something in this freaking inn, John, that you want us to see. No, he does not.
Nope. I did worse.
Yep. You did the
Two
worst.
extremes.
Someone actually picks your pocket instead. How do you like it?
Okay.
I don't like it, I must say.
All right.
So I'll go up to the table and I will say. Yeah, they said that the ambassador will be ready to go by morning. I look at Pree. So, yeah. Said he doesn't really like small talk, which I'm sure is not a problem for either of you.
Is that going to be a problem for you, Dimitri?
No. I've learned to just shut up around both of you. So, but Pree, they wanted me to talk to you about maybe taking one of the teleporters to cut it the time, which would also get you home faster. But they said it's not 100% necessary. We can just travel by foot or by horse. So that is up to you. But I just wanted to let you know there is a faster way.
It would take more gold to get me to do that.
Since they said they were willing to let us go by foot, I don't think they're going to offer more gold. But you could ask.
As you guys are talking, let's see. All right. Okay, Anthony. A small figure sidles up to you and leans into you and says, "Hello there."
Is it the dwarf?
No.
Who is this? What is this?
There is a small gnome, very finely dressed. He has these great big massive chains around his neck. He has very sort of bushy hair. He looks really elaborate, and he's got a young lady attached to him on the other side of him. And he says,
Are you here to give me my armor?
Armor? Why no.
Nope. I point to Dimitri. You want him then, and I eat my food.
I see. He stands up and he looks over at Dimitri and waddles off of the bench. He says, Delilah, would you wait for me over there, please? And she titters and then walks off. And he comes around. He says, I couldn't happen over here that you are headed towards Animatsu.
That's correct.
You are accompanying the ambassador, I understand.
Yes, that's the plan.
Oh, fascinating. And what brings you into the service of the crown?
Money.
Gold. Always a good thing, gold.
Strong. And you're asking why they chose us for this mission? It's because we rescued the prince.
Oh, you're one of the heroes. I see. You must be very, very proud of yourselves. You did a mighty service. I hear you killed the head of the orcs as well.
We got paid well.
That is important.
I will say I'm very, very proud of what we've done. They don't really care.
I see. So for some of you, it is the financial remuneration that you are looking for, mostly.
I will lean forward and say, I don't think they understand you, but yes.
I'm sorry. I mean the coin that you've received. I am most interested in your travels. Please, speak of me how you got to this place. I noticed none of you are originally from Valegard.
We walked and rode horses.
Fascinating, fascinating. My goodness, it must be very interesting traveling with you.
It's not really.
Shh. I mean, I just want to know all about you all. You're so interesting. You seem to have such a way about you with the local populace.
I want to roll an insight check on the you're so interesting.
Go ahead.
22.
You sense there's something devious about this dude. I mean, this is a gnome, and he's putting on the thickest, heaviest, deepest voice you've ever heard a gnome even remotely try to do.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna stand up and say, I would love to stay and chat, and of course you can continue to talk to my companions, but I have a date with the troubadour troupe, and I start to walk away.
Well, good luck with that. I'll tell you, I've had a few dates with them myself. Oh my. And I'm not even just talking about the female ones. But anyway, he turns to Pree and says, so, what have you been up to over the last little while? Are you interested in learning about items in this community? Are you strictly a follower of gold? I mean, I see you have different...
Sits and blinks at him while drinking her mead. Just
the silent type. I like you. And he pats you on the leg. You are very, very interesting.
Okay, hold up. When Bard sees that, I get up and I walk away because I'm like, no, I'm not getting involved in this stuff.
can I roll to not hit him?
If you want to roll a... I mean...
So wisdom.
Sure, wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Do I need roll dex to like get out of the way before someone dies?
He looks at you. You think about hitting him, and it comes real close. And he looks at you and says, "Oh, I apologize. I didn't mean to interfere with your space. My apologies. Oh, and I'm so very rude. I did not introduce myself. My name is Clamdor. I am
Door.
Clamdor. Yes, one word.
Clam. Door.
Clamdor. Yes,
Really, John?
it's an ancient name. I don't see what the problem is."
It sounds like you like one of those names where you're like, what name should I say? You look down and there's a clam on your plate, and then you look at the door. My name is Clam Door.
He looks baffled at your confusion and says, "Yeah, but I mean, I'm a Tinkerfoot. It's a name in our family. What do you want from me? I can't do anything about that. What I want to know is more about you."
Tinkerfoot.
Am I done eating?
I mean, I thought you left.
I would have left if I saw her like try to attack him, or like if she started attacking him.
I mean,
So if she didn't attack him, I would have sat back down to finish my food. But am I finished with my food?
sure.
Okay, yeah, I leave. I'll go to my room.
Okay. He says, "Oh, all of your companions have left. I'm terribly sorry. What, can I get you a drink, possibly?"
Is the squirrel around, John? Please tell me the squirrel's around.
No. Well, actually, here, do a perception check. We'll see how high you roll. Oh, very good.
21.
You will see the squirrel is running on the top of the banister, like the railing up top, looks down at you, and you see him laugh and then run away.
She is looking for an escape.
Clamdor sidles up a little bit more, gets a little closer. He's like, is there something I can help you with? The drink, perhaps, maybe? Do you have a favorite? I'm particularly fond of the grapes that grow down at the seacoast. They have a perfect vintage. You must be delighted to taste. Let me get that for you. Waitress! Waitress! He waves over at a random waitress. He's like, would you please get this young person a seacoast special, please? She kind of giggles and says, okay, and then wanders off. And about 5 minutes later, comes back with this very large drink of red wine and hands it to you. And he says, oh, now that has a great bouquet. I hope you are staying the night, possibly?
Kind of have to. For
I
the job.
Oh, I
And she'll sort of
see.
scooch her chair a little further away from him.
He looks at her and says, well, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm afraid I should go back to my companion. But if there's anything I can do for you, my dear, please let me know. I would be very happy to assist you. I do have to leave early in the morning, however, so I will be unfortunately unable beyond that. But should you need any assistance or, say, a look around the community in the evening, I would be happy to escort you.
Yeah.
Free's just shaking her head.
No. That's fine.
She smiles, winks at you, and says, have yourself a lovely day.
Yeah.
And wanders off.
Hey, John,
Mm-hmm.
can I check if anything's missing on my person?
Yeah, go ahead.
Am I missing anything on my person?
Nope.
Okay, all right, cool.
In fact, you will find 50 gold in your person that you did not have previously.
Are there weird markings on them?
Nope.
Did this random dude just give me 50 gold?
Don't know.
Alright. I was gonna say that goes to my plate armor fund, but I guess I don't really need to worry about that anymore.
The plate armor fund. In fact, all of you will find 50 extra gold in your whatever you carry your gold in.
Has Shin been robbing people for us or something as a squirrel?
Don't know. I mean, the only one of you who's even looked for him saw him laughing at her at that point in time, so in all fairness.
I
Pree
saw
is gonna
him.
Go
I just
have a bath.
She needs to wash that off.
Long
you,
scrub.
you better make sure he's not peeping somewhere.
Don't worry about that.
Did that lady say that the armor would be with our belongings? You said.
Mm-hmm. It would be delivered to you guys with your
Okay.
things.
Okay. So what time of day is it now?
So that probably would have taken you to late afternoon, early evening. Your armor probably would have arrived within the hour of it turning evening.
Oh, okay. No, what I was gonna do is just uh, like holding the axe. Like, I wanted to see if I can find a place where I can just start swinging at it to get used to it, I guess.
Okay. As you do that, you definitely feel your affinity to the axe growing. It feels much more natural in your hands. And you kind of feel that like your hands almost seem like they're, I don't want to say like callousing around it, but effectively that where it previously felt a bit rough and a bit difficult to wield, heavy and all of that, you're feeling like it's becoming less and less of a burden to swing. In fact, in some ways it almost feels easier than your pike.
Still, well, at least it's better than a sword, I guess. Or maybe, have I been too harsh on the sword? And I'm gonna like draw the sword and kind of wave it around. How does that feel?
Not as exciting. It's just a plain Jane sword, so
Yeah. I put
doesn't.
the sword back, but nope. I guess axe is better. Um, all right, yeah. If after a few, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes of doing that, I'll walk back. And if I see my armor, I'm gonna put my armor on.
Okay. You will find your armor waiting for you outside after probably about what would be equivalent to about 6:30 in the evening. You would hear a knock at your door, and it would be there, and whoever left it has gone.
Cool. I take it and I'm gonna put on my armor, and then like there's like a brief moment of like satisfaction. Then it just like, now what? All right. So then like he's like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to sleep then. I
Okay.
take the armor off.
All right. Okay. Uh, so other than Dimitri going to the Royal Hall to play music, anybody else that want to do anything other than sit in the bathtub or sleep? No. Okay. All right. Dimitri, you wander into a massive hall. There is a massive orchestra pit at the front of it and a massive stage beyond that. And you see various musicians of various types sitting there, and you can kind of hear them practicing and tuning their instruments and kind of the basics of getting ready for the evening. You see one particular gentleman who's dressed up in these very elaborate robes, and he is chatting with another lady who looks like she's in her 30s, a little bit heavier set, very dressed up and very much kind of elaborately different style of makeup and nails and coloring and all that kind of thing. Like, she looks garish if you saw her up close, but from a distance looks just very refined, I guess would be the word I would use. Kind of like an opera singer, basically. And
Gotcha.
and they are chatting, and you see as you walk closer, they look over, and the gentleman looks at you and says, "Can I help you?"
Yes. The Queen suggested I might play with you tonight. Uh, my name is Dimitri Sunsetter, and I'll hold out my hand.
Ah, ah, and puts his hand out and says, "My name is Gnome. Gnome. Uh, I was gonna say Bellringer, but I'll leave it at Bellington."
Okay. um. I mean, I wouldn't want to intrude unless you think I'm good enough. I can play the flute. I can, and I point. Well, he points to his sword because the hilt of his sword is the flute. And I have my flute with me. I can also play the lute and the drums if you need any of those instruments.
Would you like to attempt to? You're looking to audition?
Yes. Unfortunately, I'd only be able to join you for this evening as I need to leave in the morning. But I look forward to playing music and joining. Heard a lot about you, and as I said, the Queen suggested I might want to try out and see if I could play with you. But
Oh,
if you
if
don't
if
need any,
if the Queen recommends you, we're certainly willing to listen and hear your abilities and be able to judge. And certainly, we could always use a lutist or a flautist, depending on the situation. So, whatever your skill shows best at, we will see what we can do.
okay. So he will unscrew the flute from the sword hilt.
Okay,
And
so what I'd like you to do is I would like you to do a performance check for each of the instruments that you play.
okay.
You can
So
decide in what order you want to do that.
I will do the flute first. I actually have them because I am proficient in them, so they're on the side here. Flute. Well, crit on the flute for 27.
Wow. Okay. All right. Just out of
The lute
curiosity, not
is
so good.
15, and the drums are 22.
Not bad, but the flute is your jam. And he nods, very impressed. Says, well, I mean, you're coming qualified from the Queen and you're able to do that with that instrument? My goodness. And he hands you a pile of sheet music. He says, we're preparing to do this performance this evening. Our singer here is our lead vocalist. She will be performing an aria, and your performance today, if you can repeat even remotely that good tonight, in a couple of hours, we would benefit greatly. The nobility pay well.
He'll nod towards the singer and turn back to the other guy and say, I would be honored.
And they both nod at you, and the lady never talks through any of this. You can see she seemingly is trying to keep her voice. And if she does say anything, it's in a whisper, and she says, thank you.
You're most welcome.
You sound very lovely.
As I'm sure you do. I understand you're trying to save your voice.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And she goes off, and you see she's got like a little spring water cup, and she's drinking out of it. And he says, she's very particular about her voice. She's been recommended at various musical theater across the continent. She's performed across the world. She's been very well recommended to me, and certainly she has peculiarities, but she is very talented. So if you have no problem, if you would like to take a seat over with our flute section, I'm sure Fernando, who's the lead flautist, will be able to get you settled in.
Thank you very much. And he'll shake his hand again if he'll give it.
Yep.
And then he'll go off to practice the music they gave him.
Okay, so for the next 2 hours, you practice. They're all very impressed with you, and there's a little bit of chit-chat you hear about people talking about kind of, inquiring where you learned, all that kind of stuff, like just, and then going over the sheet music and talking about kind of the solos and different things. And at one point, the director comes back up to you and he says, if you would be so bold, we do have a solo performance that comes at the middle part of our music this evening. If you would like to take that up, I would greatly appreciate it.
I would be honored.
Thank you. I mean, we have the ambassador here this evening, so we want to impress him.
As do I.
Wonderful. And he says, well, we're about to get started, so if you'll find your seat and we'll get ready. And he says, if you'd like to give a little bit more practice time, we've probably got about 15 minutes before the audience starts to come in for the evening.
Yes. Especially since now I have a solo, I will practice much more. As much as I can.
Fair enough. Okay. So we get to the performance, and there is kind of a lead, kind of prayer, sort of commission. I don't know what you want to call it. Dedication. That would be the word I would use for the evening from a local cleric of one of the random churches, and then a local official gets up front and talks about how delighted they are to have members of the court and members of higher society here this evening, and then they nod at the ambassador and roll a perception check, if you would, please.
Okay. Yep, 6.
So you're looking off to kind of see, and it's really hard to see, but you see a little hand reach up and kind of wave to the audience and then sit back down. Kind of sitting right in the middle, in kind of the prime seating, but because of all the audience standing up, you've got the impression that whoever it is short.
Okay.
And your performance begins. The singer is amazing. She lives up to the billing, and she performs very well. If you would like to roll a performance check.
Okay. Could I have advantage since I have practiced?
You have advantage on the roll, yes.
Thank you. Oh,
whoa! Didn't need it. Wow, he rolls a natural 20 for a total of 27. Your performance is the best you feel you've ever done. And the solo is fantastic, and people applaud like crazy. And as the night progresses and the evening is going along very well, I would say. You notice that the rest of this group is very talented. They've had lots of experience. They're like a mid-tier kind of orchestra. They're not like, they're not going to blow the doors off the place. They aren't going to play Carnegie Hall, to use that terminology, or the West End or something in London, but they're still going to be like pretty darn good. And but you just stand out. Like you'd be like this musician where like, he's just wasting his talent. He needs to go to the better part of the world. And when you get up, as you all do, and you're giving your bows, and you look up, and you see leading the clapping is Clamdor, sitting in the middle.
Oh boy.
The Ambassador of Valegard. And with that,
well,
we're going to call it end this evening, and we hope you all enjoyed Rock of Cair Bryn